Hey friends, this week Iron Banner's back, and so I wanted to highlight a hidden gem weapon that most players overlook, mostly because the Immortal SMG is so strong and prevalent. So, what I'm talking about is the Peacebond, and some of you might be saying, but I'm already good at M&K, why would I ever...
Oh, he's dead.
I think I made my point. Anyhow, why do you want Peacebond? The answer is because it's really sticky on controller. While it doesn't 2-burst, there are a couple things in the game you can combine with it so that it 2-bursts more consistently. The first of which is what you see in the background, the Mask of Bakris. This is an exotic helmet that turns your dodge into a short distance teleport, just a better dodge overall. Another way you can 2-burst is by picking up an orb off the floor and run 2 stasis surges on your leg armor. The third method to 2-burst will be on the weapon itself. So on Peacebond, you can go with Harmony, Swashbuckler, Surrounded, Focus Fury, any of those type of perks. So now on screen, we're at D2 Foundry looking at the Peacebond possible rolls. I went ahead and went for a range roll. You can see that the time to kill clocks in at 0.73 with 7 shots. That's more than a 2-burst. But as soon as we add just 1 stack of Swashbuckler, it goes to a blistering fast 0.5. So, let's talk about this perk 1 column. Let's start with that. Rangefinder makes a lot of sense, and even after the nerf, it will still make sense because under the hood, it makes your shots connect, it makes it feel stickier. However, I don't know if I'll like the extra zoom in the future. I'll keep it if I get it, but I'm not gunning for rangefinder. I'll start at the top now. Tunnel vision. You have to get a kill and then reload for bonus aim assist, and I'm pretty sure this is good. I just think combat happens a little too fast for me to be able to fit the reload, and with Mask of Bakris, it's counterintuitive because you want to be dodging into the fight with Bakris to get the damage bonus. It could work if you surprise somebody, it's just not what I'm going to go for. Subsistence, I think you only pair with Focus Fury to make the perk easier to proc, which does give you that 0.5, pretty forgiving. Killing Wind makes a lot of sense. You'll see when it activates, plus 20 range, then you get better damage fall off. So you can get a really, really deep 2-tap after a kill, preferably with something like Swashbuckler. However, it also adds, when you aim down sights, you strafe a little bit faster. And while that can help for some, I feel like that kind of hurts my muscle memory. So the only real reason that I would ever run this is like on a Dragon Shadow build or something like that, if I want to get extra mobility. However, like I said, the strafe speed change is a little bit jarring, and I think I want something passive that isn't kill activated anyway, which brings us to the final 2 perks. We have Under Pressure and Perpetual Motion. Perpetual Motion makes sense, but the perk's a little awkward for me to activate because I have to keep moving around, and sometimes I do like to stand still and shoot at something so I don't lose the perk. Like, let's say you're trying to hit a lightning nade on the wall, and because you really want to focus on that aim, you have to stand still for a second. So Perpetual Motion, as good of a perk as it is, it's not the one I'm going to choose. This leaves Under Pressure by just process of elimination. I landed on this perk and I ended up really liking it. I like it because of the accuracy bonus on the second kill. Yes, you can empty the gun and then enter the gunfight, but typically I'm on Marksman's dodge anyway, so it just reloads. The way it typically goes for me is a Titan throws up a barricade, I empty half of the magazine onto the barricade, then I Bakris, then I break the barricade, then I 2-burst the Titan. So, with the way that the game is realistically playing right now, this just makes sense to me. Now, on the perk 2 column, I just want all the damage perks. I think this is such a good gun that I want multiple rolls of this. I want Surrounded for 6s, I want Harmony for 3s, I want Swashbuckler for generic use. There are other builds with Peacebond that don't involve Mask of Bakris. Like you could play a Throwing Knife Hunter with Radiant Dodge, and Swashbuckler comes up a lot more. There's a PvE version of this too, but I'm not going to worry about that. I should have started off the video with this, but The reason that I value this gun over even exotics is because of this origin trait. When you're at low health, if you get a final blow, you get enhanced radar and it removes you from radar for about 10 seconds. That right there is an exotic tier perk, and it's just there on Iron Banner weapons. The problem is most of the Iron Banner weapons are terrible, except Peacebond, if you have this specific build. So that's what brings us to today's video. So now let's go item by item for the entire build, starting with the Cloud Strike. Notice that Bakris boosts the damage of both Peacebond and the Cloud Strike. If I go for a Swashbuckler build, I do have the Withering Blade, pretty good. I put Harmonic Targeting, so it boosts my Stasis weapon, Arc Targeting for Cloud Strike, Double Stasis Surge, Orb to pick up for health. Then on the class item, always go Reaper. Eventually I'll probably put Utility Kickstart on it, but Powerful Attraction's pretty cool too. It vacuums up orbs and that'll give you your 2 burst from a distance. Sometimes you just don't have the luxury of picking up the orb, so it does come up. There's a bug with Utility Kickstart right now, so you just can't equip it, which is why I didn't build it yet. Heavy-handed makes an orb if you get a melee kill, so that can also lead to a 2 burst if you pick up that orb. Got triple unflinching on the chest piece, and I think that's it. As far as the aspect and the fragment combo goes, you could pretty much mix and match any of them, but I really recommend running Winter Shroud so that when you dodge, it slows your opponent, which allows you to not get meleeed from 12 meters away when they slide at you at the same time. Now for fragments, assuming you're running slow dodge or a dust field, you want Whisper of Durance to extend the slow, and for the rest of them, just throw them into stats or anything that gives you a grenade back. Now in the background gameplay, I always switch on and off a Shatter Dive. I was sort of feeling out what combo I like the best. Remember, I'm on controller, I'm not as good on controller, but this loadout to an extent kind of plays itself, so I tried all the different things, and I think overall I do like Shatter Dive. So I might give up the enhanced grenade and go for just a normal cold snap. It's really, really good against stationary titans, and if you Bakris in and Shatter Dive or use that frozen target to lead to a melee kill, which can lead to a 2 burst, it gets the engine started. On the flip side, the other side of this build is Cloud Strike, which is really, really effective. And maybe I want to leverage getting new angles with a Glacier Nade or an enhanced dust field. That also makes a lot of sense, right? So there's so many good choices on Stasis Bakris Hunter that it's overwhelming. You just don't know what to choose. So my recommendation is to just try all the combinations over an Iron Banner session, especially while you're grinding for a better Peacebond. I will say one thing though, for anybody who plays on PC, cheaters are more frequent than ever. So Shatter Dive is an incredible tool for playing against cheaters if you want to just keep Shatter Diving around corners. So I think I'm going to go the Shatter Dive route, and then I'll probably use a Glacier Nade if I want to platform, and just accept that I'm going to have a longer cooldown. But in a pinch, I could also do the old Shatter Dive combo, so that's a thing. Okay, now for some tips. Assuming you're on controller, and assuming that you're a lower sensitivity so you can aim at your opponent, yes, I am recommending that it is more important to be able to aim on controller than it is to move around. With Bakris, you have a get out of jail free card, so leverage it by having better aim. Now, since you're now a slower sensitivity controller player, my recommendation is that think ahead of when you want to use the Bakris and consider entering a room backwards.
Very fitting.
Oh, that was so anime!
It's so anime that you're about to erupt like that.
This is something I used to use in Destiny 1 with Blink. And it's even easier with Bakris because you don't have to time a jump or anything. And it slows the opponent. So the idea is if you enter backwards, by the time your dodge finishes, your crosshair is already on your slowed opponent. And that just reduces the amount of time you have to find them, which means that you're probably going to 2-burst. And even if you don't, it's still going to be a really comfortable 3-burst. Then your damage boost activates from the weapon, and then the next person that comes into the room gets absolutely deleted. Okay, my final tip for Bakris is that we are in a Titan meta, which means that you're going to get knockout punch from 12 meters away. So don't Bakris directly away from them, go laterally. Go left or go right to try to create that space. Because usually they're going to slide straight at you. So you want to work against their momentum. When you find you're getting really good at that type of thing, keep that skill in your back pocket because it will come up again if you ever pick up and play Strand Titan. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video, hope you found something useful, and I hope you end up liking this build. See you in the next one.
The guy
Yeah,
in the
he's in the
cubby.
cubby.
He's just... Fuck him.
No, let me stay in here.
Why'd he focus me instead of you? You were straight in front of him.
Oh no.
That was fun.